welcome back to the channel, guys. Today what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a good drive on these cars. It's been pretty dry all day. We've had good sun. It is getting kind of cloudy here and there, but the roads are dry. There's no water. The cars are dry. And then Matt did just reach out to me, and he does need a hand with that Bronco today. So I'm gonna warm Mark's car up, drive it over to Matt's, get the tires good and warm, and then on the way back here, once I get close to my house, I'll rip on it third and fourth gear and see where we're at for the wideband. But it will also give me the opportunity to get some drivability data. Let me do a couple little tweaks that we're gonna do here with that map. I'll throw it in the car. We'll get the car warmed up, and then we're gonna head over to Matt's and we'll get this lit off the Bronco. Well, we got that tune file set up. I got HP Tuner set up with the car, so we're reading the AEM wideband. Now, when I look at it on the logger, I'm actually, in my head, I gotta tell myself that the logger shows 0.5 leaner than the gauge. So when the gauge shows 14.3, the logger shows 14.8. So we'll keep that in mind while we're doing what we're doing here. But we got everything set up. We're gonna get some heat in the car, and then we're gonna go over to Matt's and try and get this lit off the Bronco and get some data out of this car here. So we got another beautiful day today, and we're just gonna jump right into it. I got Mark's car warming up. I'm gonna put some fuel in it right now, and then we're gonna go take it out, dry the tires off, get them nice and warm. The roads are dry. Didn't get hardly any dew last night. There's almost no wind, so it's ideally this is perfect conditions to try and get out, try and get some tuning in on his car real quick. And then later on we can try and maybe get this car back out and get some more miles on it tonight. If I can get that car done and tuned today, then we can just go ahead and get the vacuum block put in when it gets here and get him on his way. And then we can focus full time on the white car. So let me get some fuel in this car. We're getting some heat in it, and then we're gonna go for a ride. See if we got any heat. Okay, well, just over half, not bad. We are getting warm. 154, so yeah, we're probably warm enough. We're gonna go out and let's get the tires warm and see what it'll do. All right, so we made a couple rips. Tune actually looks pretty good. When we shift the 3.4, it holds boost and it stays pretty fat, but as we get in the spool here with third gear, it's still a little bit lean. So I'm gonna put a little bit more fuel to it. It is going in the right direction. And then I'm gonna let this thing cool off here for a little while. I did let it run long enough for the fans to come on, cool it back off. And I did go into the tune and check to see what the fan temperatures were. And they actually still had the factory fan settings on with the 180 thermostat in it. So I dropped the low fan to come on at 190, high fans will come on at 199, and then that's AC on or off. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna write that, but I'm gonna go inside, look this tune over here real quick, let this car cool off for a little while. We'll make the changes in the tune. I'll put a click to the boost controller, see if we can get this thing up off gate. So it looks like we are making 14 pounds on the gate, and then we'll see what the air fuel looks like there. And then if the air fuel looks pretty good, then we'll go ahead and we'll do another click, see if we can get it up there about 20. And if we can get 19, 20 pounds, we might see where Mark's at with it. I probably will put another click on just to make sure we're okay for 21, 22 pounds. If that's where the clicks end up, maybe 23. But as soon as HP goes blind, which is at about 21.5 pounds, I really can't log map pressure, and it's not the easiest thing for me to try and look down at the boost gauge or the wideband while I'm trying to drive down the road and make sure that a deer or something's not gonna run out in front of me. So we are getting there though. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna look this tune over, make a couple changes. I got the new fan temperatures programmed in here, so we won't have to worry about that being a problem anymore with the car constantly going through a big heat cycle. And then we'll get back out here and see if we can make another rip. All right, guys, so we let the car cool off, made a couple adjustments with the tune, and now we're going to go out and make another rip, see where it's at. And if it looks pretty good, then we'll go ahead and we'll give it that click on the boost controller and see how much we make and see where that's at. And slowly work our way up from there. So we're just gonna let it warm up here for a couple minutes and then we'll get going. Well, guys, the tune looks pretty solid. So we're gonna give it a click. One click, let's see what it does. Well, guys, that was kind of exciting. So we go for the first rip, gate pressure, tune looks good. We're nice and safe on the air fuel. We're actually low mid 12s right now. And that was with no boost controller, that was all the way out. So we go down to the church down by my house. I put one click in it from nothing, come back, same, gate pressure, 14, 15 pounds. Get down to the other end of the road here, take the click back out of the boost controller, so we go back to 0, and then I gave it 2 clicks, brought it back, and nailed it, and this thing tried to make all of 30 pounds. So this boost controller is sticking. So unfortunately, Mark's gonna kind of be stuck right now, just driving the car on gate pressure. And once he gets a feel for it and we get to the dyno, then we'll go ahead and we'll start turning it up then. he's gonna have to hold off and wait until that gets there, because if that boost controller is gonna be an issue, that's another thing we're gonna have to order, and the car's gonna be down for a little while. So I want to get the car back to him here, that way he can drive the car, and I can try and get caught up on everything else that I got going on around here before we get some other projects that are supposed to come over. And then he, like I said, we wanted to turn the car down anyway so he could drive it and enjoy it. So on gate pressure, the car will be a good time. So when I get that vacuum block, we're just gonna plumb it straight in. It's just gonna see whatever gate pressure is, and that's how it's gonna ride. So like I said, I'm gonna look over the tune, play with the air fuel a little bit. The VE is actually looking really good under boost. I think we're in a pretty solid spot already. Just got to get that vacuum block in, make sure that there's going to be no sudden changes with the VE referencing the fuel pressure regulator differently from the catch can, in case the vacuum being pulled from the crankcase does play an effect into how much vacuum it pulls. But realistically, that's probably just going to be idle pressure anyway. So car has run for a little while, fans come on, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shut it off. We're going to let this car cool off. I'm going to run the wife to Bay City real quick. She's going to meet up with her mom and hang out with her for the night. And then I'll get back here and probably make a couple changes with the silver car here, take it back out, see where it's at, and then start driving the white one. I'll be back, guys. Dropped the wife off, got back home, did a little, reviewed the tune from the last rips that we did in Mark's car, and then made a couple changes, reflashed the car, and now we're about to go back out and see what it does. I'm gonna take the boost controller all the way out again. We're gonna go back out, see if it's still on gate pressure, make sure that air fuel is still good. If we're still good, then for now we're just going to wrap the tune up. I did tell him that I didn't want to do any changes with timing, and then let him figure out how he wants to control boost, whether he wants to do it through the ECM, if he wants a boost box or another manual boost controller, whatever. He does have the option to do whatever he wants at this point, or at least make a decision, and then we can go forward. But I'm just going to get the car back to him on gate right now, let him enjoy it. We'll get a dyno session scheduled, or try to, and then see if we can put that thing on, feed it a little bit of timing, and see where it goes. So let me get this car warmed up. We'll go out, we'll make another rip for the night, and that'll probably be it for the silver one here. I don't know how many miles I'm going to try and get on my white one. I did get back a little later than I was planning on, so let me get this one set up here. I'm going to go over to my mom and dad's for dinner, and then after that, as long as I got some daylight, we're going to try and put some miles in the white one, and then we'll go from there. Well, guys, I think we got her. Third revision from where the calibration was when we originally got the car, on top of the changes that I did to make the vacuum multiplier 1-to-1. So we're solely relying on the fuel pressure regulator for the fuel pressure change. The ECM is not doing any math to compensate for an unknown fuel pressure difference with boost against the tip of the injector. So that's cleared up. It spools, it comes in pretty nice, and then when it gets into boost, we're pretty happy with where the air fuel is for now. When we get ready for the dyno, we can get this thing there, and then go ahead and see what we can do with timing and stuff like that. This car pulls pretty good. It's, like I said, it's got some pretty low timing in it right now. When you give it the beans, it likes to eat. And the VE is looking pretty solid. All the fuel trims are within 5% either way of 0. So I think I might just do maybe a 1 or 2% adjustment in the cells that are showing something that big in the opposite way. So if it's showing me a 5, then I'll take 2 out of that cell. And if it's showing me a -5, I'll add 2 to that cell. If it's showing me a 4, I might only add 1. And then I will go ahead and rewrite the car. And as far as that goes, the drivability and everything on this car, tune-wise, should be ready to go. So at this point, all he's got to do is figure out what he wants for a boost controller. If he wants a boost box, PCM, or a manual boost controller, that works. And we can go ahead and get that in the car and get some boost control figured out. But as far as everything else goes for now, pretty much done with it. Just got to get that vacuum block and put it in and make sure that there's going to be no changes with the tune. But I'm going to go ahead and I'll make those changes, and then when that vacuum block shows up, I'll flash the car, put the block in, we'll go for a ride, make sure everything's honky-dory, and then we'll go ahead and go from there. I'm out here this morning, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the vacuum block in it, and then the roads are still pretty wet right now, but if it does stay dry and cool for the rest of the day and the wind doesn't pick up like they say it might, then I'll be able to take the silver car out here and see if the tune has changed at all with putting that vacuum block in, to see if there was any change in drivability. I'm not worried about what it does in boost. I'm just more or less worried about the potential loss of vacuum referencing the fuel pressure regulator, since we're referencing from the catch can. So if there's no change there in the VE while we're driving it, then we put this thing in boost and it should be the same. But I'm also gonna take the manual boost controller out, and then we're gonna take it apart and see if there's anything inside that's causing any issues with it. So if it looks like it's rusty or something, I'll probably just tell them to get something else. If I can clean it and put it back together, then I'll try it. And then we'll see if we can start putting clicks in and make a couple pounds. But if we go 1 click, we're still gate, 2 clicks, and this thing's trying to peg it out at 30 pounds again, then I'm just gonna tell them to buy a boost box and a 3-port. And then we'll take care of that stuff over the winter or whenever the parts do show up. Currently, what I wanna do is I wanna get this thing done, try to get the car back to him so he can drive it, enjoy it, get a feel for it again, and then we can start turning it up once he gets comfortable with the car. But for now, like I said, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna get this vacuum block in. So I gotta put some thread tape on all the fittings here, get them all tight, and then I'm going to pull the intake out. I'll get this vacuum block stuffed in here, and then at 10 o'clock I'm gonna have to go inside, punch in for work, then this car's ready to go for another ride. So as long as we got clean, dry roads, I'll drive it over to Matt's, and we'll see what the VE looks like, and then we'll go from there. Okay, looks like I got it done just in time, because there I got about 5 minutes I gotta go inside. But I got the vacuum block in and it looks way better than the alternative. So we got that guy in, he's gonna be stuffed in there. And realistically, you're probably gonna see a little bit of that blue, but we should get some good clearance around the intake, because the intake's gonna cover a lot of this up coming out right here and then like this. So a lot of that will be hidden, but it looks way better than it did before. I don't have this monstrosity out here with all these T's and everything trying to make that fit. And that block is a lot smaller than this block would have been. So thank God for that. So I'm gonna stuff the intake back on. We're gonna wrap this car up for now, and then hopefully the roads are dry and I can drive it after work, and then see what the tune looks like still. And if we got any changes, if we got to make any changes with the tune, I will. Another thing that I did, and I don't know if you guys could really see it when I did it, I took a piece of 3/8 line, and this is what I cut off the end of the booster hose to shorten this piece here. But what I did was I zip tied this to the oil feed line, and then I ran the wastegate feed line through it. So we wouldn't have to worry about the wastegate line moving a lot, and we're also not worried about it rubbing through on the oil line. So that way we don't have to worry about any boost leaks for boost control. That way when he stands on it, boost pressure will still hit the gate and open up. If there's a hole in that line, we're gonna make a lot of boost. So trying to avoid that, but at the same time, we still want to make a lot of power. So we got a few things we got to try and play with here. But as far as everything else goes, guys, I mean, the car's pretty well wrapped up. Just got to get it good and cleaned up ever since taking care of some of these coolant leaks. And it looks like we still got that oil leak taken care of too. I don't see any drips on it. Sensor is dry. So took care of the oil leak, got his overflow in, worked on the tune, got the gear set in, catch can in, changed the vacuum block, got rid of the manual boost controller. At least for now. I did pull it apart and it doesn't look super dirty inside, but I'm still probably going to run some brake clean through it, see what comes out, and then we'll go from there. But as far as that goes, guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the intake back on. I'm going to wrap this one up for now, see if I can drive it later. And so let me get this one slapped back together here and I'll get inside so I can punch in for work. Well, there's my 10 o'clock alarm, but it's in. That vacuum block actually clears everything really nice. So we're not worried about that guy rubbing through anywhere. Awesome. Well, here we are, guys. Just got to take it for a ride now. And I still got to get that filter to put on here. Everything else in this car should be ready to rock. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go inside, get cleaned up, punch in for work. I'll bring you guys back in after I punch out of work. I did get a couple boxes that showed up today. So I got a couple boxes from VMS and this box from Race Clip. This is actually the 5-point harness. This is going to be an anchor bolt. I'm still waiting on the clip end, so this is going to be for the submarining belt that goes down between your legs. So we got the 5 points, just a regular mechanical latch. I didn't want the cam lock. We got 4 of these Image Racing 3-bar adjusters so we can wrap it around the bars instead of bolting them down. So I got all those. Got a reinforcement plate for this bolt. So what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm just gonna put the washer on the top. I know they make this so the washer goes on the bottom, but I'm gonna use this plate on the bottom and put the washer on the top. That way we got a good squeeze on the floor. And then, so we got all that stuff in. And then I did go ahead and open up one of these boxes from VMS, and these things look amazing. They really pack these guys in here. So you got your cardboard, and then we'll pull the wheel out. And then you can see my Zeus out there. Zeus out. When do you want to let the dog out? Looks like he's ready. He just stood up. So I think he wants to go out. So I got these 13x9s, and holy cow, these things look good, guys. And they're really light too, but 13x9, 0 offset. They are dual drilled for 5x114 and 5x100. Looks like a standard 60-degree conical seat. I know they didn't have that information on their website, but I'm hoping that's it. That way I don't have to buy new lug nuts. We got 2 of these guys. So these are actually going to replace the Bassets that I bought for white rice. So Saturday I'm gonna get these guys mounted on some tires. But tonight when I go over to Matt's, I'm gonna take them with me with a couple spacers. So I know I'll figure out how much room that I actually have and what kind of spacer I will need. I can't wait to put these on the car because these things look amazing. And they're super light. So I'm gonna go get my bathroom scale. We'll see what these guys weigh real quick. Yeah, all right, I'm just gonna use my other scale. Just because everything else I've been weighing with it. So we're zeroed on the scale. VMS advertises these wheels at 13 pounds a piece. Let's see what they actually weigh. .6. That's light, guys. That is really light. I like it. So yeah, opening race car parts and weighing them in my kitchen. So awesome, 12.6 pounds. That should be a good weight loss. They did say shipping weight on the Bassets was 15 pounds. I never did weigh them by themselves, but now I'll have the opportunity to do that to see if I'm gonna lose even more weight. So, and this is all rotating, guys. And these spokes are really thick. These things should be pretty strong. I'm not worried about it at all. I'm actually really looking forward to them. I seen Jamie was running some on his Neon. I seen a few other Neon guys were running them, and then somebody had mentioned that they went to the 13-inch brakes and bought these wheels with 0 offset. And I think he said he had to use a 10 or 12 millimeter spacer to clear his. But I'll find out what I need to clear mine. It's probably going to be the same thing. But I cannot wait to stuff these on the car and put these things to use. We are working on that roll cage, guys. So as soon as that gets done, we'll get our braking miles. We'll work on the tune, and then we're looking for the racetrack. So got everything we need at this point to put it together. Got my safety harness, all the hardware I need to install it. Got the new wheels. So we'll get all this stuff put in the car, and we'll put on the car, in the car, whatever, when the cage gets done. And then we'll get back on the road. We'll get our miles in, and then we will start working on the tuning and hopefully be ready for the race at the end of August. From this Saturday, I'll have 2 weeks. And the reason I want to change these wheels is because these Bassets, I know it might not be the easiest thing to see here, but they're kind of dusty. But you can see all the rub marks right here in the barrel. This step actually hits the spindle, even with grinding the calipers down. So I would have to go back in and grind the crap out of the spindle to get that to fit. And I just don't want to do that anymore. I mean, I had them powder coated, had the bearings and everything put in them. Once the bearings are in, I mean, the only way you can get them in powder coated is to pull them all back apart. And I'm not doing that just to redo it. So it's actually probably just as much money as it is to buy the VMSs and sell these wheels and get my money back as it is to try and pull the bearings and everything out and repress all that stuff and get them repowder coated after I grind on them. So I don't want to do that anymore. I want to just get these wheels, I just want to get those wheels taken off, get these VMSs on and get better fitment. That way I don't have to worry about grinding it, worry about the integrity of my parts or anything like that, or having it looking like shit while we're out there trying to do what we're doing. So yeah, those guys are gone. Yeah, this is exciting, guys. So let me wrap this one up. I guess I still got to finish work. I'm just on lunch right now. I did put my food in the microwave, but we got these boxes and I was just so excited. I wanted to get these things opened up and film and show you guys what we got here. So as soon as we get these things on the car, I'll get you guys a definite picture, but I am going to take this wheel over with me tonight to see where it's at, just to make sure we're going to clear before I bother mounting the tires, and then we'll go from there. So we'll bring you guys back in later. Alright guys, so out here after work today, Matt did shoot me a text and he has to finish welding up a fuel tank today. He didn't get it done as quick as he thought he was gonna, so tonight he's gonna finish that up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick this breather filter on Mark's car. I'm gonna back it out and warm it up, hook up HP tuners, and then I'll take it for a spin over to Matt's house and I'm gonna take that new wheel with me and we'll see how that fits. And then as long as that wheel fits good, we'll get the tires mounted on it this weekend. And then I guess we'll be ready for the track with those. But so right now, I'm gonna, like I said, I gotta pop the hood, put this breather filter on that we picked up from Summit yesterday, these little Spectre ones. And then I'm gonna go ahead and we'll get some heat in this guy and we'll go for a ride. Alrighty, so filter is a little bit bigger at the base than I was expecting. So the next ones I buy, I'll probably just see if I can get, I'll just measure this real quick and see if I can just get a straight filter, not a conical. Because it already is hitting the cam cover, but it is past the barb, and I mean that's me ripping on it pretty good, so that guy's not going to go anywhere. So I'm going to fire this thing up, I'm going to let it warm up, run inside, grab HP tuners, get hooked up to the car, grab my wheel, and then we'll go over to Matt's. Yeah. Fired right up. Nothing behind the car, is there? Good? Alright. I just wanted to make sure I didn't set anything on the ground behind it. Hell yeah. Are we supposed to get any bad weather tonight? Or the next couple days? No? Okay, maybe I can just... He'll have his car back. He'll have his car back by then. Alright, cool. Alright, I'm gonna go grab my stuff and then we'll get the car loaded up and we'll head over to Matt's house right now. So we got the wheel fitted. It actually fits really good. And I don't know why everybody was saying to use spacers, because I actually have maybe like a 1/4 inch. But yeah, so fits good though, looks good. Does stick out a bit, about like 2 inches, but with that 9-inch tire on there, it'll fit perfect. And we got a little bit of room between the strut, or between the coil and the wheel here, so we won't have to worry about the tire rubbing. At worst, if it balloons out, it might sit like right in here and then kind of come back out. But yeah, fits good. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna hook up this breather hose to my air filter. I brought a barb fitting over. I'm just gonna put a barb in the bottom of the filter and hook the crankcase breather to that. That way we're pulling filtered air in, and we got the catch can for the other side. And then we'll get all this stuff wrapped up for the day, and then we'll get back over tomorrow and start working on the roll cage. All right, guys. So got my breather fitting put in the filter here. So we got our breather hose runs out of the air filter and into the valve cover, and then we got the PCV pulling it out, so everything's filtered and we're good to go. Not worried about pulling dirty air. I did rewrite a little calibration for Mark's car on the way here and put a little bit more fuel in it because it was showing a little lean today in 3rd gear. So fatten it up, as it picks up load in 4th gear, it does fatten itself up. So I'm assuming that what it's trying to do is go between 2 cells and HP tuner. So I went just under where we normally ride, put a little bit of fuel in there, and then we'll see what it looks like when we go out here and make a rip. So I'm gonna wrap this one up though, guys. We're gonna leave Matt's. I'm gonna go drive this car home, try and get it home before the sun goes down, and then see what the log looks like, and maybe I can try and make an adjustment, another pull before it actually gets dark. But we'll walk over here and I'll show you guys. That's that fuel tank he's working on, but here's his S10, this chassis he's done working on. This thing's gonna be nuts. Stock suspension big block car. Right? That's the goal? Stock suspension? That's what I thought. Yeah. It's gonna be nuts. Alright guys, so we made a couple rips with Mark's car. The tune actually looks pretty good, or at least I think it does. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send it, get the garage here, car, pull in the garage here. So the tune looks good. Just got the car back home, we're in the garage. I'm gonna wrap this one up though for the night. I'm gonna go inside and I'm gonna send this tune file and the session log to our other buddy Mark. He's gonna look over it and see what he thinks. I think the tune looks pretty good where it's at until we go to the dyno and really start playing with it more, but that's gonna be something for the dyno. So I'm gonna wrap this one up for the night though, guys. Those wheels did fit great. I'm really excited to get these things out. I'll get them mounted Saturday. I'll bring you guys out for a video on that one. And then we'll get those guys stuck on the car as soon as I can when we're ready to go to the track. So as soon as we get that roll cage done though, definitely gotta still get my miles in. So as soon as that's done, we can start working on the tuning and balance the car, because the cage will be in, all the weight will be finished, and then we can actually get that set up, double check the alignment after that, make whatever small adjustments we have to, and then we can put the good tires on and we're going to the racetrack, guys. But car has idled a while. I am going to shut it down. We're going inside for the night. So I think with the few videos that we've done over the past day, I know on this one I'm mentioning roll cage, but I'm not going to put any of that footage in yet. Thanks for checking me out today. I did see that we finally made 250 subs. I think the last time I looked was 254. I don't know if I've gotten any more since. And I've also gotten 1,200 followers on Instagram. So those are a couple of milestones for me. But I'm wrapping this one up for the night, guys. Definitely thanks for checking me out. You have yourself a good one. Stay safe, and we will see you at the track. Thanks.